Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. Happy May the 4th be with you, and we're glad to have you with us. We've got your HCC news and information. But first, I want to introduce my co-host, Brittany Pacheco, wearing her appropriate shirt for May the 4th. Welcome, Brittany.
Hey, good morning, Todd. Yes, I am decked out in my Star Wars shirt, and I'm going to turn my camera just a little bit so you can see my stormtroopers over here that my husband and I painted some time back. And I'm so excited that it is Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with everyone who's watching us live on Facebook. Be sure to like our Facebook page as well as our other social media platforms on Twitter and Instagram. And also head over to our YouTube channel. Yes, we do have a YouTube channel with thousands of videos. Be sure to subscribe and to hit that notification bell so you can be the first to find out the latest from HCC.
Well, Brittany, we've got a great show lined up. We're getting a lot of questions from students concerning how do I do my welding courses or my face-to-face courses. We're going to give you some of those answers. Alberto Urbina joins us he's the Acting Dean of Material Science Center of Excellence. He'll be joining us in a moment. Good morning, Alberto.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. But first, we're going to start with Dr. Betty Fortune, the Executive Director of Success and Completion. Dr. Fortune, we don't see each other that often, but we used to see each other just about every day when we worked at the Southwest College. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's great to see you this morning as well. Glad to see everyone doing well on this May 4th, the Star Wars Day.
May the 4th be with you.
That's right.
Dr. Fortune, you're involved in something very exciting today at noon with Dr. Kurt Ewan. It's an update on student success and strategic initiatives, and the webinar is called Embracing Houston's Future Student Centeredness. Tell us a bit about this and what folks can expect.
Well, first of all, you can expect two great dynamic speakers in Dr. Davis Jenkins, who comes to us from CCRC. He's been doing research in student success for many years, and he will be one of our platform speakers for this event, along with Dr. Martha Ellis, who is our Achieving the Dream coach, and she's been our Achieving the Dream coach for many years, has worked with student success at UT Austin, as well as many other institutions. And they bring a wealth of information to this platform to talk about national as well as state and local work that's going on to help our students be successful as they try to maneuver through this COVID-19 pandemic.
Looks like you're going to be focusing on student-centeredness, but can you share some of what we'll see in the presentation?
So you'll see some much conversation about the guided pathways work and how this work can be serve as an influencer, an enhancement to all of our student success work, because after all, we are here because of our students. And many of our students are going through some tough times right now with this pandemic. They've lost jobs. Many of them have parents that are ill. They're struggling to be online to do this work. And our pathways work will be designed with an equity lens, thinking about in terms of what do students really need? Not necessarily, am I a great teacher? Yes, that too. Is the course rigorous enough? Yes, that too. But most of all, we want to focus on what do students need to be successful and to get to the next level of their life.
You know, one thing you hear with businesses have had to do during this COVID crisis is they've had to pivot to make a change in their direction so that they can survive in this crisis. Besides the online learning, because we've had to make a major pivot at HCC, what other things or thoughts and mentality have you had to change in promoting student success?
So many things have had to change in this process. For example, because we've had to go online, the chancellor and the board just recently put out an announcement that for summer courses, we will not even be charging them for the DE component, which is always a tad bit more expensive than our regular courses. So that will save them. Some other things we've had to do was because many of the students had never been online, we've had to incorporate some sort of virtual conference calls with students so that they would have an opportunity to meet face-to-face with faculty. To discuss issues. We've been moving toward also giving students an opportunity if they wanted to receive a grade of a pass or fail, But there are many things that we're doing to reach out to students. The advisors are just really, really busy reaching out to students that seem to be lagging behind. We've upped the ante on our data Dr. Burridge's office is actually pulling data weekly to see how many students have logged in, and then giving that information to our faculty as well as the advisors so that they can reach out to these students and try to get them back involved in the classroom, get engaged in that classroom. We're encouraging students to reach out to their professors as often as possible. We're asking professors to reach out to faculty. And it's just been a really great collaboration of faculty and staff working together to try to get these students engaged in this online format that they've never been exposed to. So things are changing. Things are changing for our students. Things are changing for faculty and staff. But it's all a good thing, because at the end of the day, it's about having students to be successful so that they can get through these courses and get into the labor market. Because as you said, yes, business will change because jobs will change. The kinds of jobs that's coming in the future will change. And we need to be prepared to prepare our students for that future.
You know, another thing too, I know you work with the strategic plan in Dr. Hewen's office, and that is planned out years in advance, where you're projecting 5 years, sometimes 10 years in the future. Right now, that everything's kind of up in the air, and we may have an influx of people looking for jobs, need to be retrained. Do you have to tool with that strategic plan to see what pieces you might have to reimagine or look at a different way?
Sure. As one component of the strategic plan is this notion of student-centeredness, which causes this part to be live. Because as industry changes, as the demand for jobs change, we have to be ready to change. So even though the strategic plan has been built out, we are constantly looking at what's going on currently and down the road that will change that. So one of the things that we're going to be doing real soon that I will announce at today's meeting is our development of a comprehensive quality enhancement plan through the SACS accreditation. And what this does is allow us to go in and look at what's happening now, what we predict may be happening in higher education in the near future. And that will allow us to start thinking through that and touching bases with our national partners, our state partners, to see what is working, what's not working, what are the challenges going forward? And yes, we will be able to adapt those strategies into the strategic plan that we're working on now.
I know you've been with the college for a few years, and you've been through some natural disasters with the college. I mean, we all went through Harvey, but this situation is so unique because when there's a hurricane, you see it coming, you prepare for it, and then you make a plan afterwards and you adapt. But this is totally different for us all. This is a new page in the playbook that we're not used to dealing with.
It absolutely is. But one good thing I can say is because of the work that we did with Harvey, with reaching out to our students with financial aid, providing aid to them through various partnerships and foundation agencies, our food pantry, all of those things that we were already working on, put us in a really good position to have at least a base of knowledge that would guide us through what we're going through now. And I think that really prepared us. Yes, it was totally unexpected, out of the blue, but because we have been working on student-centeredness already, we were aware of some of the things that needed to be done and could easily transition to that work. And I must give some kudos out to our student service folks, Dr. Shante Gray's department, to our financial aid folks with Joelle and Saucier and some of those other folks in instruction. They all just stepped up to the plate. And it all came about simply because we learned so many valuable lessons from when we went through with our last, which one was Harvey, our Harvey thing that we went through not too long ago. So yes, it was out of the blue, but I think HCC had aligned itself so much with this notion of being student-centeredness that we were in a good position to move forward.
Dr. Betty Fortune, Executive Director of Success and Completion. If folks want to join you for this conference this afternoon, how can they do so?
So I would have to post a link for you later today in a little bit when we get off the air, Todd, that they can go on. Right now we have over 300 folks that have already registered for the event. We will make the video available online after this event is over. So if you don't get to register for it, look for the recording of this event to be posted sometime in the near future. And it was a great joy talking to you, Todd.
Well, thank you for being here. It was good seeing you as always, and we'll post that link in our social media as well so folks can find it on here. Dr. Betty Fortune, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We're going to move to Alberto Urbina, the Acting Dean of Material Science Center of Excellence. Man, thanks for being here. You know, one of the biggest questions we get, Alberto, and maybe you can help answer this, is I've had several students, parents of students say, hey, what's going on with the welding classes? Because how do we do that through an online element? So maybe you can answer that. What's going on with welding?
That is a great question because, like you mentioned, welding is a very hands-on type of skill. We are using this time, though, to be able to use a different software that's been made available from Miller Electric, from Lincoln Electric, and from the American Welding Society that's normally proprietary training. They've made it available to training institutions, including Houston Community College Material Science Center of Excellence, so that we will be able to continue to train our students remotely for the time being. So that training really focuses on the technology, on the equipment setup, and the metal preparation that's needed for students to weldment. So students have been able to do that. We've been posting some videos. We've been having some online discussions, whether that's through a blog or through WebEx meetings. So these are very cool times for the students to be able to get some additional training that maybe they wouldn't have gotten from Miller Electric or from the American Welding Society. So the plan is that right now we're preparing students to be able to set up their equipment, to talk about safety, to to train students on the material setup. But then once we get back on campus at some point in the near future, for us to just focus on the welding. The students by that point, they're going to have all the safety components. They're going to have all the technical components related to their equipment and to their metal. And it's just going to be us doing a whole bunch of welding and getting the students caught up with their hands-on skills.
You know, Alberto, you are with the Material Science Center of Excellence, and I know it's more than just welding. Maybe you can let folks know what type of courses and programs that are offered through your Center of Excellence.
Sure, absolutely. So welding is one of our programs. We also have pipe fitting technology. We have sheet metal technology. We have welding inspection. And we also have a sheet metal. I'm sorry, I already said the sheet metal. But yeah, those are our current programs that we have. And we look forward to returning back to some type of a regular schedule at some point in the near future to be able to continue with those programs and those trainings.
So that would be the next question, because right now we don't know when we'll be able to get back in the buildings. We know sometime we will, but we're not sure then. But I imagine when you do get back in the buildings and you're teaching and your instructors are teaching welding again, things are going to look different than they did before we left for spring break. I imagine maybe smaller groups, different types of courses, rotating courses, and I mean, all that's up in the air, correct?
Yes, you are absolutely correct. We're going to follow whatever the guidelines from the Centers for Disease Control are at the time. So whatever those guidelines are, whenever we return, we're definitely going to follow those, both in the classroom and also in the lab component of each one of those programs.
What's been the reaction you've been getting from students and some of the feedback now that we have moved into online instruction, at least for the time being?
The students are really liking the videos and the software that we're using online because they're able to pretty much have access to it at any time that they would like, whether that's during the day, in the evening, or at night. They're able to go back to previous concepts. They're able to stop, fast forward, rewind, whatever it may be that they need to do. So they're really liking the fact that the software and Canvas, which is a learning management system that we're using, is very, very kind of flexible in that regards, that they're able to start and pause and whatever it is that they need to do just based on their life situations and where they're at. So,
because from what I understand, you guys had even started late night classes because a lot of your students are working. They can't take the traditional classes because they're at work at that time. So this, you're saying, is something that is working for them, I guess, is a blessing in disguise because they can take the classes whenever they need to.
Absolutely. This is something that we can we plan on continuing to use in the future as a department is the different software that we're using for the online component, so that students would always have access, I guess, to the theory, to the videos, and to the content online. Because you're right, we have a lot of students, not just the late evening students, which we're taking classes from 10 at night to 1 in the morning, but just students in general. They have busy lives with their work and their families. So being able to have this online component is really beneficial to all of our students.
So from what you're telling me, it sounds like we're looking at things totally differently now and being able to incorporate what you've learned during the shutdown into your future curriculum.
Absolutely. The things that we're learning right now and the things that the students are utilizing are things that we will continue to use in the future, not just for the welding program, but for all of our other programs, because to some extent, there's already a lot of workforce training that's taking place online. So let's just go ahead and utilize the technology that's available to all of us and be able to provide our students the best educational experience possible.
Because many welders work in construction and other things, they're falling in the category right now of the essential workers? Is that one of the things that students are maybe coming to you and seeing that these jobs are skilled and they're needed dramatically right now?
Absolutely. So the city of Houston is really a downstream market. So the downstream of the oil and gas industry is really the processing and the refining of that crude oil. So because of that, because gasoline, diesel, and different fuels are a vital part of the economy, you're absolutely right that those workers are considered essential. Not only that, but another big component that comes from petroleum is actually plastic. So you can imagine in a time right now with all of the cleaning and different things like that, plastics are very important to the recovery. So you're absolutely right that these workers and employees are considered essential employees to all of these plants.
And for welding, you can get certifications, but can you get 2-year degrees and maybe go beyond that as well?
I'm glad that you asked. We're very excited for the fall of this year. We're going to be starting a 2-year associate degree of applied science and in welding technology. So we're very excited to be able to start that AAS degree in welding technology this fall. So students would be able to start with one of our 2 certifications and then be able to stack those certifications onto the associate of applied science degree in welding technology. So yes, we're very excited to start that. That's also going to increase the different career opportunities for our students that achieve that associate's degree. So we look forward to the first cohort of students starting this fall semester.
Alberto Urbina, thanks for being here. He's the Acting Dean from Material Science Center of Excellence. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future.
All right, well, thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We're now going to check in again with Brittany, who is here to fill us in with social media and all of the other details going on in the show. Any questions folks are asking this weekend, Brittany?
Yeah, Todd. So we've had a couple of people who are interested in taking part in our commercial driving licensing, which is basically our truck driving course through continuing education. So if you guys are interested in that, you can always go to our homepage and look up continuing education to find all the programs that we have available for you. But because it is Star Wars Day, because we just can't, progress in life without it, it also happens to be the opening day for fall 2020 registration. So that is super convenient because a few years ago, a few of us made a really fun video in honor of Star Wars Day, but also for registration. And if you want to check out that video, you can go scroll down a little bit further down on our Facebook page, check out that video and learn where you can go and apply for fall 2020.
One of my favorite videos you guys made was the one with Darth Vader for Father's Day. So if you guys would release that again, re-release it for Father's Day, that is hands down, one of my favorite videos y'all have done.
Oh yeah, we've had some good times making those pop culture fun videos, and I can't wait to get back into the office where we can utilize the studio again to, come together with some new ideas to put out there. But, in the meantime, one of our social media guys, Frank Cooper, shared his love letter to the NBA if you guys are interested in what we're talking about, be sure, again, to scroll down our Facebook page to check out that video. It's fun. We're living in a new norm, and it's, a little down sometimes, and we just like to have some fun, bring a little bit of light into everyone's lives. So be sure, again, to check out that video, as well as our Star Wars / registration video.
All those are on our Facebook page. Much quicker, though, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch all of them as well. Those are all those videos in Frank's body of work are all on YouTube channel. It's good stuff. We got a virtual graduation coming up. People, definitely, if you're graduating this semester, you want to take part in the virtual graduation. It's very sad we can't do this in person, but we're being safe. We're being responsible. We're doing these virtual graduations online. That happens May the 22nd. All the information can be found at hccs.edu/graduation, hccs.edu/graduation. And Brittany, if they don't choose, or if they really want to walk, they can do so in not the fall, but the winter graduation.
That's absolutely correct, Todd. So students, we completely understand that this is your time to shine, because you've worked so hard to achieve your degree, certification, whatever it is you came to HCC for, and you have that right to walk across that stage with your family and friends in attendance. So you all are invited to participate in our fall or winter commencement ceremonies that will, cross fingers, hopefully be in person and will take place later at the end of this year. So again, you have two options. You can participate in our virtual commencement, which is, again, happening May 22nd, which is a Friday, or you can participate with your fellow graduates in our in-person fall/winter commencement ceremonies.
So over the weekend, just to break from the information, over the weekend, I think I sent you and Nathan some pictures that I was able to get out and about safely, wearing masks, social distancing. But anyway, I was able to get out and about to see what some things were going on. Of course, the malls were open. No one was there. It was extremely weird. Going to the Galleria, okay? And we'd already decided if we went to a mall and there were a lot of people there, we weren't going to go. So we went to the Galleria. It was like a ghost town. You could park right in front of the door, go walk right in the Galleria. Maybe, and this is a good estimate, maybe 30 people were in the whole Galleria the whole time. Yeah. The biggest store with the store with the most people, believe it or not, standing out line was the Gucci store. There were people standing in line at the Gucci store. About half the stores were closed. They haven't reopened yet, but it was a very eerie scene. And you're familiar with the original Dawn of the Dead, right?
It's been a while, but yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So the whole thing takes place in a mall, but the whole idea is that they're walking around the mall. It's a safe place to be. That's what it was like being at the Galleria, like Dawn of the Dead. There was no one around, very few people, very few shops open. It was very, very strange. But we went there, and then we decided to go get a bite to eat. We went out Friday night. There was one other table at the restaurant we went to. When we walked in, we were the only ones there. The staff was just falling over nice to be helpful to us. So got to give them some kudos. But it was very, very strange. And then Saturday night, we went to go eat at a place, and they were set up. First, they made you, of course, wear your mask, not when you were eating, but when you're walking through the restaurant, which is fine. But they had glass partitions all around the bar. It was like going to a bank and dealing with a teller. There were plexiglass around the bar so people could sit at the bar. They had a little cutaway for where they could pay and get their drinks. So it was a whole different experience. And they're giving you disposable napkins. So you get a roll of napkins when you get there, paper towels, and all plasticware. And the chips for the meal come out in little to-go things. Very, very strange. And this is one of the higher-end Tex-Mex places. Very, very strange. So different world. I don't know if you got out at all, Brittany, but it's a different world we're living in right now.
It most certainly is. And no, I did not take that opportunity to go out to the mall or to go physically to a restaurant. I live very close to Willowbrook Mall, and just judging by the parking lot, it was pretty empty. So No, we ordered in. We did curbside. The apps have been very helpful with picking up curbside. It's been super convenient, and I'm pretty content with that. But no, we pretty much just stayed in. I've been doing some cleaning, organizing. We actually made a donation run because one of the donation centers, their headquarters is open, and that's where you can drop off your donation. So everyone interested in making donations, you can certainly Google donation centers headquarters who are accepting all your used goods, and hopefully you can purge like I've been doing, or just help someone else in need.
Yeah, we did that about 2 weeks before the whole lockdown. We decided to clean out one of the closets. So we've given away just about everything we have to give away. Well, most of it now. Cleaned out pretty much one whole closet, clothing, nice, shoes, all that stuff. And we're able to make a big donation. But, that's one of the things to keep in mind. And I've talked to some people about this because nonprofits right now, especially after Harvey, they really struggled to keep those donations coming in. So if you normally do give to a nonprofit, they're really in need right now because unfortunately many of us are tending to our families and not spending as much, and the nonprofits do need to keep that cash flow coming in so they can keep their operations going and keep all the good work that they do up and running.
Definitely. So we can all do a little bit on our part just to help others and to help nonprofits, and obviously also to maintain the social distancing. And it was super quick, super convenient. I made sure I had everything packed, ready to go, just to put on their little carts, and it's like, Bye, we're good. So it's been really good just to do major spring cleaning that probably wouldn't have the opportunity to do otherwise. But it's also knowing that we're giving to others who are going to be in need of these items. So it's a good feeling overall.
And if you're afraid of going out, I get that. I understand where it's going, and it's just with anyone who's weary of going out, stay home and do be safe, But if you do go out, like, when we made the decision to go somewhere, if it was going to be crowded and if you saw a lot of people, we weren't going to go. It's as easy as that, and it's weird being able to go to a mall and park right in front of the door and just walk in. Usually if you go to Memorial City or the Galleria, you're driving around for 10 minutes just to find a spot. Not a problem now, folks. So, we'll see how things go. But the strange thing about it is going to those malls and half of the stores are still closed with no idea on when they're going to open up again.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very different way of life right now, and I'm sure people just are itching to get out just to do something completely different. We've taken the opportunity to walk with our neighbor who has a dog to just take some explore and some new trails, and I also had the opportunity to teach my one of my nieces how to drive, or more or less how to drive in a empty parking lot. So we're working on that. But yeah, just trying to find things to do. And like I said, maintain that social distancing and having to make our grocery store runs when we need it. We had to do that last night. And you know what? Things are calming down a little bit when it comes to things like that. So I'm adjusted personally. I'm okay with having to work from home to some degree. I do miss people, even people wasn't particularly a fan of, but it's okay. And, it is what it is. It's we're going to be okay. We're going to get through this one way or another. And we just need to remember to be compassionate towards one another, be kind, be empathetic, be helpful when you can be. And as long as you're following the guidelines that the CDC, federal, state, and local officials have issued. And we're going to get through this one way or another.
That's the main thing. And, if you're looking for information on HCC and what are we doing towards this health crisis, we've got a couple of websites for students, faculty, and staff, and one particularly for students, Brittany.
Definitely students. So we know that this is not the ideal instruction that you may or may not have applied for when it comes to taking your courses. So to make things easier for you when it comes to questions about financial aid, textbooks, advising, counseling, all those questions you may have, you can find it all in one place. If you go online to hccs.edu/COVID-19 students, you will find all of those resources available at your fingertips. And the departments have had to make some adjustments to their policies, and it's okay. We're here to assist you in every way possible that we can. If you do have a very specific question that you need answered, you can go to the virtual lobby to fill out a form and ask that very specific question, and an HCC team member will get back to you as quickly as possible. You can find the virtual lobby form by the green button the green bar at the very top of every HCC page, or at the very bottom where you see 4 blue buttons. It's the farthest button to your right. Again, just click on virtual lobby, fill out that form, and an HCC team member will get back to you as soon as possible.
Virtual lobby is one of our best things we have going on right now. If you have those individualized questions, you can bring them up in the virtual lobby, and as Brittany mentioned, someone will be getting back to you. That about wraps things up for today. Alberto, thanks for being here and joining us on the show. We appreciate you keeping us up to date with what's going on at the Material Science Center of Excellence.
Thanks for having me again.
Thank you. And Brittany, tomorrow we've got, we were talking about restaurants reopening and the struggles that are happening in the hospitality and the restaurant industry. We're going to be talking tomorrow with Chef Katie Rangel here from our culinary school, and also a visit from Steve Salzman. He's the general manager of the club at Carlton Woods, and he's also on HCC's Culinary Advisory Committee. So we'll talk with them tomorrow more about what's going on in the hospitality industry. And of course, we'll have all your HCC news. Thanks for being here today on Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis.